Captain by a hook with a red beard. Captain by a hook with a red beard.
Oh yeah, baby. It's here. Baseball season coming down to the wire. Definitely going to touch on that. Two teams right now tied for the last spot in the American League wild card race. Texas winning 4 in a row. The Rangers getting back on track. Man, man. Boston and the Yankees now tied. Same record, 73 and 72. Same pitiful, 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 pitiful record. Still, things are tight in the National League race. Arizona still holding on to the last spot, 1 game lead over the Reds, who are heating up once again, winners of 2 in a row. Miami and San Francisco a half a game back. Padres, Metropolitans, Yankees, Cardinals, White Sox, Mets. White Sox, Yankees, Padres, Cardinals, Mets. What's next? Gonna be a lot of things going on this offseason in Major League Baseball, especially for those aforementioned franchises. Whew. Yikes. Good morning. This is a morning show. Been up for about 5 hours, believe it or not, already. We got the shakes. Couldn't sleep last night. Anyway. All 5 of those teams were supposed to not only be playoff teams, but teams that could make a run to the World Series. I will jump on what each of those teams need to do this offseason. And I think I got a good solution for you guys. Round up all that talent. Make one huge team. Maybe then they will win. Can you imagine a lineup of Arenado, Goldie, Judge, Alonso, Lindor, Louis Robert, Tim Anderson? Who else did I name? Sheesh. Manny Machado, Juan Soto, Tatis. Still probably go 500. Am I right? Because, boy, these guys, heartbreaking. College football, baby. Week 3 or week 4. Be honest with you, I don't even care anymore. College football coming up this weekend. I have 4 bets already placed. I will touch on those also in the show. Do a few do a few breakdowns. I don't know why I'm yawning so damn much. Been up for 5 hours. Drank 2 cups of coffee. Hell, you think I'd be Ready to go right now. Ready to go right now. Hit me with the bass line. Boom, 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 boom. It's Captain by a hook with the red beard, presented by Stare Down Sports. I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs. Going live. It is the 13th of September. Month is flying by, already halfway through the month. Whew, excuse me. I mean, hot ham. God darn it. Gosh darn it. Anyway, let's look at what happened last night on the Diamond before I get to what each of these franchises need to do. Yankees barely beat the Red Sox in both of their games. Royals, White Sox split their doubleheader. The Pirates of Pittsburgh beat down the Nationals. The Cardinals of St. Louis beat up on the O's. John Means in his first start back, ERA gets up to around 5. The Reds, the Tigers, Reds barely hold off the Tigers 6-5 in that game. Same thing with the Braves over the Phillies, 7-6 victory. Both of those games going into the 10th inning. Extras, baby. Rangers 6-3 over the Blue Jays. Diamondbacks fall to the Metropolitans 7-4. Rays, Twins 2-3. Twins with the victory. Brewers. Knew I should have bet them damn Brewers. Freddie Peralta gets his 12th win of the season. Brewers win in a 3-1 fashion, only giving up 2 hits to the Marlins. The Athletics, sizzling, take down the Astros in 2 or 3 straight, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. 2 in a row. Oh, yeah. It's going to be the yawn special, baby. Give me the, not give me. The Rockies beat the Cubs 6-4. Angels put up a dud against the Mariners, who win 8-0. Guardians 3-1 over the Giants. And then the Padres. The damn Padres get slapped up and down the field by the Dodgers 11-2 in that one. Which brings me to this. Padres. Yankees. man, please. Yawning it up on a Wednesday. Padres, Yankees. What the hell are they going to do? Cardinals, Mets. What the hell are they going to do? White Sox. I mean, come on. It's been a pathetic performance by all of these teams this season. Red Sox and Yankees both tied for last place in the AL East, which is the last place you'd expect to see either one of those teams. The AL Central as a whole is a joke. If the White Sox were even 500 right now, they'd be 3 or 4 games out of the division. Instead, they're 33 games under. Have won a percentage of 38 games on the season, 20 games back from a Minnesota Twins team who's only 7 games over 500. It's embarrassing when you look at the AL Central as a whole. Cleveland, Detroit, Kansas City, kind of expect them to be here. The White Sox, however, with their roster, their pitching, all the BS they've been spewing the last few years about building and becoming better, becoming a playoff team on a regular, throw it all out of the window. Nobody except for the center fielder, number 88, Louis Robert Jr., as y'all call him, Louis Robert Jr. He's the only player that stepped up this year for the damn White Sox. They made some questionable trades over the last few seasons. This season specifically, getting rid of some young talent that I was enjoying watching come up with the White Sox. What the hell do they need to do to come back and get back to that playoff form? Well, I'm going to be blunt with this one. I'm going to be very truthful with this one. White Sox window is slammed. Somebody put nails in it. Y'all ain't getting that playoff window back open. Not with this core, not with this roster, not with this manager, not with this general manager. It was awesome in 2019 watching the White Sox turn around what was a decade-long struggle begin to win. It was amazing in 2020 watching this team in a shortened COVID year look as if they'd be at the top of the American League for at least the next few seasons. 2022 was disappointing. 2021 was disappointing. Yet still, it had the hope of this team getting over the hump. Unfortunately, we ran into the Astros in the playoffs. Dynasty. Juggernaut. Everything the White Sox were expected to be. 2022, disappointing all around. 2023 comes, and now we're starting to hype up the next generation of farm system players. It's almost as if the 2019 and 2020 seasons meant nothing, did nothing. All of those players that we garnered as the next great White Sox failed miserably. We could blame the managers and the general managers all we want, but the bottom line is the White Sox got caught in a sticky situation that they don't have the pride to admit. They're ashamed, embarrassed. We were supposed to have some of the best pitching prospects in the game, 2019 and 2020, from Lucas Giolito becoming an ace in 2019 to the Michael Kopechs, Carlos Rodons, Dylan Ceases, even Dallas Keuchel had an amazing 2020 season with the White Sox. All of a sudden, the sticky fingers, sticky stuff gets banned. And not one, not two, but every White Sox pitcher turns into a scrub. Every White Sox pitcher is no longer elite. Pitching failed this team over the last 3 or 4 seasons. And as much as we want to blame the injury-prone outfielders that we have, as much as we want to blame Tim Anderson not mentally being there, we have to blame the pitching first, foremost. And as well as the pitching, we have to blame the front office for not getting ahead of this, not fixing it, not figuring it out when it happened. It's been 3 seasons. We just now at the trade deadline got rid of most of our pitchers to rebuild. Where does that put our hitters? Waiting on a rebuild. I think the Chicago White Sox team is going to go into a decade-long stretch of mediocrity, similar to what they did through the 2010s. From 2006 to 2018, this is what this team was this season, a 50-win team. I think they're going to be back there a lot longer than any White Sox fan would hope. The rest of these teams, and I'll run through the rest of these quickly because they have an actual fix. The Metropolitans, the Cardinals, both of these teams need one thing: pitching. The lineups for both of these teams show up. the lineups for both of these teams produce. Now, the Metropolitans, they can improve their lineup with a few more lefty bats. They do have a few glaring holes in the lineup at DH position specifically. They have a few great fielders who just aren't as consistent at the plate. However, give this team better pitching, and they tried to do it. Scherzer, Verlander. Last season was a better accumulation of talent with Taijuan Walker being in Philadelphia now, Chris Bassett for the Blue Jays, Tyler Miguel having a career season. You lose all of that over the offseason and you come back in with Verlander to replace it. Kind of unfair to him. He dealt with some injuries. He's getting older. This is the tail end of Verlander. This isn't Verlander, Scherzer 2012 with the Tigers. Obviously not. Metropolitans need to get some pitching and some pitching fast. They're calling up a bunch of young cats at the end of this year, and these guys are pitching their heart out, and I love to see it. Same thing with the Cardinals. They kind of just gave up on all of their pitching at the trade deadline and said, you know what? It'll be unfair for us to continue to ask these pitchers specifically to become better. We need better pitching to be better as a team. You already have two of the best fielding corners in the infield, third base and first base. Both of those guys who are Hall of Fame hitters, I would argue, in Goldie and Arenado. Shortstop and second baseman could improve, as well as the outfield. But I don't think the hitting has been the problem for the Cardinals. The bullpen is horrendous. Same thing with the Diamondbacks, but we're not on them, are we? Diamondbacks, as awful as they have been, have a chance to make the wild card and are actually holding the last spot right now. Despise their bullpen woes. The Cardinals, 64-81. 17 and a half games back in the division they were a favorite to win. The Metropolitans, 28 and a half games behind the Atlanta Braves, which they were better than last season up until the last weekend of the season. To see Atlanta and the Mets have the 2022 seasons they had, and then we come back 2023 and the Mets are 28 and a half games behind them, shows how much this team dropped off. Most of that is pitching. Now the last two teams on this list. Oh boy. The last two teams on this list. Yankees. Padres. The best lineup in baseball. Now they have a lot more work to do. Why, you ask? I think they have glaring holes and problems everywhere you look, from the front office to the manager to overpaid lineups not producing, players that you can probably get better role players for. I know it's baseball. It's not like somebody can just, everybody gets a chance to bat. It's not like only one person can shoot the ball. They need some more leaders, some more clubhouse guys to keep these superstars humbled. They need a better environment. They also need better bullpen and better starting pitching. The Yankees, Padres both have the same problem, if you ask me. And it all comes down to character. Yankees, they could get better talent-wise. I think they have a trash-ass lineup that I'm surprised the Yankees fans even expect to win with. However, I can't really argue with that. A lot of these young cats are coming up and showing what they can do. But when you have a core of Rizzo, LeMahieu, and Judge and Stanton, that core only looks good on paper, as we see. Production wise, it's not working. Yankees. I think y'all seriously need to look at getting rid of everybody. Rebuilding around Cole and Judge. It'll take a few seasons. Cole's arm will probably diminish a little bit over the next 2 or 3 seasons for y'all to get it done. Judge, as unhealthy as he is, he'll play a full season over those 3 seasons, and that's another problem. I don't think Judge will ever play a full season again. Last 5 years he's been in the league, he's only played a full season once, and that still had a few stints here or there out of some games. Padres, on the other hand, what do you do? Everybody on your team's making $400 million, and they're expecting those checks. And I know it's hard to just ask a grown man to play to his salary. So maybe that's not the solution. I think put Tatis back at shortstop. It's an obvious one. See if Bogaerts wants to play second or right field. Why the hell did Bogaerts come into your team and disrupt things the way he did? Because y'all let him. Tatis is a shortstop. Always will be. Always has been. Nothing will change that. Him not being engaged at the shortstop position has translated to worse batting. I think both of these teams, the Yankees and the Padres, need to make as many trades as possible. Even if it's not good trades up front. Get some prospects. Build up the prospect pool that you have. One of the best teams at doing this is the Dodgers, the Brooklyn Bums. They keep their superstars paid and happy. However, they make deals that are heartbreaking deals to make, such as Justin Turner over this past offseason. But in return, they keep their farm system full, their crops a plethora. And in continuing to do so, they can contend year in and year out. Not every team will be like the Astros of 2013, where you could just sell everything, gain a bunch of prospects, and 4 years later, you win a World Series. And for the next 5, 6, 7 seasons after that, you're in contention for a World Series. It takes a very special group of players to do that. Why do you think they held the core 4 as much as they do in New York? 5 championship rings. That's why. Now, the Yankees haven't done anything 14 seasons. And I don't think they will do anything anytime soon. But the quicker you rip the Band-Aid off, quicker a scar can form from a scab. Anyway, those 4 teams were the most disappointing to me this season. Cardinals, heartbreaking. Padres, just flat out shameful. White Sox, just embarrassing. And the New York Yankees, let's be honest, we know how the Yankee fans feel about this Yankees team. Last place in the AL East. College football, baby. Kicking it off. 4 bets for you that I will break down very quickly right here on Captain by a Hook before I get into my 2 baseball bets for today. September 13th. The first bet I'm going with this Saturday, I'm looking for a shootout down in Mississippi. Ding. LSU, baby, traveling to Mississippi to take on Mississippi State. Now, I like the over in this game for a few reasons. Chip Kelly, who is the worst college football coach in college football, these are the kind of games he thrives in. He's going to go for it on every fourth down. He's going to put his B words to the wall. Talking about balls. Not female dogs. And LSU is going to look to run up this score if they can. They lost to Florida State. The rest of the season is an uphill battle. Sorry. It's just heartbreaking that Chip Kelly is this trash of a goddamn coach. I was trying to get through this without ranting, but man, I just can't get over him. I blame him still. I still ain't over the Tennessee loss last year. And I don't know if I'll ever be over this Florida State loss this season. I don't give a damn if they lost. It's how they lost. All them damn going for it on fourth downs caught up to them. And then they finally make one real mistake, and it's a 27-point goddamn game. Puts too much pressure on the kids when you do that, man. You got to give these kids a chance to make mistakes and bounce back. All your mistakes shouldn't be compiled on their mistakes. Anyway, long story short, I got this game being the shootout, high scoring, back and forth. LSU, like I said, I think they try to run up the score as much as possible every game the rest of this year because of the uphill battle that they're on. I mean, shit, again, our only chance is to win out, beat Alabama, which is in Tuscaloosa this year, and then go beat Georgia in the down SEC championship game. Luckily, Texas beat Alabama to even make it all possible. However, uphill battle, but LSU will be trying their darndest to get some points up. Give me the over 54 and a hook on this game. Over 54 and a half. LSU, Mississippi State. My number is LSU winning 44-35. If I had to lean aside in this game, it'd be Mississippi State plus the 9.5. But I'm going to stay on the over only. Give me over 54 in the hook. LSU, Mississippi State. This next bet might be my favorite bet thus far in college football. Almost put it all on it. Almost took everything I had of value. Got it appraised. Put it on this bet. I didn't, however, because I gamble responsibly. As you should too. But give me Oklahoma State, baby. At a low number, according to my number. I think South Alabama, one of the more overrated teams as far as numbers go this season. 2 weeks ago, I told you Tulane should be favored closer to 17 against this team, which they won the game by around 17. They were only favored 6.5. I got Oklahoma State about the same. I have them favored by around 15, 17 points against this South Alabama team. I think Oklahoma State is no-brainer. Like I said, I think this number should be around 14.5. If that, Oklahoma State should win this game easily, comfortably, and I think that they cover this number 7.5 against South Alabama. I could see this game getting chippy, getting grimy, but I'm still gonna ride Oklahoma State -7 in a hook, -105. Money coming in on South Alabama. If you want to wait, maybe you get a 7, maybe you get a 6.5 on game day, maybe you get an 8. Who knows? It's been fishy that way with these lines. I put it in today at 7.5. So that's where I am at on this game. Like I said, it's my favorite bet of the weekend, favorite bet of the whole entire college football this season yet up to this point. So much to keep up with in college football. Not even going to lie to you. But yeah, man, we're gonna be on LSU, Mississippi State over 54 and a hook. Oklahoma State minus 7.5. This next game, it's what the kids call a trap game. This next game is what the kids call a stay away. It's a trap line. 6.5 is the number between Florida and Tennessee. Two teams who I think are in completely different leagues. Both teams actually, who I think are overrated versus the market, which is a weird stance to be at. You got Tennessee favored by 6.5. I believe they are on the road against, excuse me. I believe they are on the road against Florida. 6 o'clock game. Tennessee, Florida. Tennessee on the road favored by a touchdown. They call it a trap game because 6.5 looks so good. And then you bet it. And Florida keeps it within 5. And I kind of feel like that could happen. I have this number closer to 8 than 7. A good friend of mine who I trust wisely has this number closer to 5 than 7. This 6.5 really does feel like a gamble, but I will be taking the favorite on the road. Tennessee, I think they can win this game by double digits. Not betting. I guess I am betting on it. I think they win an ugly one, man. I think Tennessee wins an ugly one. I think it ends up around an 8-point victory. 38-30 is the line numbers I got for this game. Tennessee winning 38-30. So, one field goal the wrong way, and it's a 5-point game. Lord have mercy. man, please. Need to get my health right. In order. Give me Tennessee, baby. The Volunteers, 7-point favorites on the road this weekend, taking on the Florida Gators. An SEC battle of the Oranges. Which shade will win? Tennessee, minus 6.5. Oklahoma State, minus 7.5. Give me the over. LSU, Mississippi State, 54.5. The last bet that I have already placed. Colorado, baby. Prime time. Prime time television for the first time this season. I think they're going to be looking to make a statement. You're going to have College Game Day there in the morning and getting the students and fans rowdy and ready to go. This is the first game Colorado has that is supposed to be a blowout. I think Colorado's favored by 22 and a hook. I think they come out and make a statement. At home, prime time, ESPN game. The ESPN trailers will be in the parking lot for game day. I'm going to take the over here. And I think Colorado hits it by themselves. You saw what they did against TCU. You saw what they did against Nebraska. Now they get a Colorado State team coming from across the state, in-state rivalry. I think Colorado is going to put a beating, and I mean a beating, on Colorado State. Give me the Buffs winning 59-7 and going over 59 and a hook easily in this one. I think this game hits the over by the middle of the third quarter. I think it goes into the half somewhere around 42-0. 45-7. Hopefully, unlike Syracuse last weekend, that went to halftime 45-0. to 7. And then didn't hit the over of 55 in the hook. Only needing 4 points to get there. With the whole second half to play. I'm not even going to ask what happened there. Just going to cuss you out behind your back. Syracuse. The Orangemen. Anyway, Colorado State over 59 in the hook. Tennessee minus 6.5. Oklahoma State minus 7 in the hook. LSU, Mississippi State over 54.5. Those are the bets I already have placed for this Saturday. In college football, week 3, baby. Or week 4, depending on how you count. Anywho, anyway, anywhere. Let's get on to Major League Baseball games. Tonight, I have 2 bets for you. One of them is at high noon. Give me the Tampa Bay Rays on the money line. This is a strict fade of Keuchel. Yes. Taj Bradley getting the start for the Rays scares me tremendously. However, 22-year-old young buck, I think he can throw a gem. Last game against Seattle, 6 and 1 innings. He did give up 4 earned. The game before that in Cleveland, 5 innings. He gave up 1 earned. And then before that against Houston, he gave up 5 earned. So every other game, it's like horrible, decent, horrible. Hopefully he gives me a decent one. It's the Twins too, so I'll fade the Twins any day. Rays on the money line. Also a fade of Keuchel, who I believe the Rays can get to early. Keuchel getting the start for the Twins. Not my favorite bet of my lifetime, but I will be on the Rays on the money line, minus 130. Yes, I am paying juice to sweat my blank off. The other bet I have, Baltimore. Going back to them. Give me Baltimore. The Cardinals got a win yesterday, which means they won't win again the rest of the week. At least that's how their record looks. Kyle Gibson also on the mound for the Orioles. One of my favorite guys to back. Give me the Orioles on the run line. I forgot the odds on it. Orioles on the run line. I mean, it's like plus 112 or something. Nothing fancy. Nothing smancy. Plus 114 right this second. I think I got it at plus 112. Baltimore Orioles on the run line, minus 1.5 at home. I like it. I love it. I want some more of it. Those are the only 2 plays I have. Waiting on the Mariners lines to open, as well as the Angels announcing their starting pitcher. Might lean Mariners there. That's the only other bet I really have that I'm looking at. Diamondbacks with Gallen on the mound always sounds like a good idea. However, nah. Spencer Strider also taking the mound for the Braves. He got beat up last outing, which means he's going to come into this game even more mad. Even more thigh convulsing veins. I don't care about him. That's about it, man. Wrapping up the day that is right here on Captain by a Hook. I mean, Braves D-backs might be a bet if you like it. I'm waiting on this Mariners line. Only 2 I got that's placed right now. Rays on the money line, minus 130. Orioles on the run line, plus 112. Phew. Gave out all my college football bets. I might add 1 or 2, maybe 3 or 4 or more to the slip by Saturday, depending on how I'm feeling. But right now, you got LSU, Mississippi State over 54.5, Oklahoma State minus 7.5, Tennessee minus 6.5, Colorado State, Colorado over 59.5. On the diamond, the Rays minus 130 on the money line. That is a high noon game, Central Time. Don't miss it. Waiting. Orioles on the run line. That is a 5:30 first pitch Central Time. Orioles on the run line, plus 112. Thank y'all for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. This is Captain by a Hook with the red beard. I'm Rowan Donaghy, aka Rowan Dobbs. Going live. It is the 13th of September. Take all wagers at your own risk, and please, please gamble responsibly. Dobbs.